Good afternoon, everyone. It is 12 noon on February 2nd, 2024. I would like to now call this board meeting to order at this time. First, we will proceed with taking our roll call. I'll ask each member to state their name, their location, and address, and if there's anyone from the board or public with them at that location. I'll go ahead and start. Tilda Dominguez. I am at the location in Glendora, Galeras Family Education Center, 427 West Carroll Avenue, Room 2, Glendora, California, 91741. And member Karen Chang is present with me. Amy White. Todd Borges.
Good morning. I am here. My location is Hearing Life Hearing Aid Centers at 714 West Lodi Avenue in Lodi, California. I am currently here just myself. There is no member of the public with me at this time.
Thank you. Karen Chang.
Hello, this is Karen. I am here with Gilda Dominguez at the Galeras Family Education Center.
John Danderand.
Hi, John Danderand. I'm at Moore Park Public Library at 699 Moore Park Avenue, Moore Park, California, 93021. I'm by myself and there are no members of the public.
Thank you. Carl Sanders.
I'm here at the board office at 1601 Response Road, 3216 Sacramento.
Okay.
And there's one member of the public here.
Okay, thank you.
And everyone, let's just, Karen and Gilda, just make sure one of you has your mic and sound muted on your laptop so the sound's only coming through one of them. Otherwise, we'll get an echo.
Okay, thank you. Will do. Julio Valdez. As I have been notified, we have the establishment of a quorum, so we will go ahead and proceed with our meeting. I will now ask for, oh, sorry.
I'll just want to announce the staff that are at the board.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Hello, this is Paul Sanchez, Executive Officer of the Board, and we have with us our staff, Sharice Burns, our Assistant Executive Officer, Maria Lorenzo, our Regulations Analyst, and you want to introduce yourself, please?
And Yuping Lin, Board Counsel, President.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'll remember that next time. I will now ask for public comment for items not on the agenda. And I would like to ask the moderator to open public comment at this time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have opened up the Q&A panel. And so if any member of the public that's logged into WebEx that would like to comment, you may type comment using the field in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. Just type comment to let us know you'd like to comment, or you may simply raise your hand. We are displaying instructions. And while we wait for that, I'd like to check with our remote locations, Sacramento, Glendora, Moore Park, and Lodi, and if any member of the public present at those locations would like to comment, please indicate that to a board member or staff person. All right, this is a moderator. I'm not seeing any requests for comment from the public that are logged into WebEx. Does anyone have any members of the public that would like to comment at their location? Oh, I'm sorry. I now see a raised hand from someone logged into WebEx. Forgive me. Robert McKinney, in a moment, I will unmute you. You will have 3 minutes to talk, and I will give you a 30-second warning. So Robert McKinney, you should be able to unmute yourself. All right, Robert, we'll try that one more time. If you see it, there you go. Robert, you're unmuted.
to comment on the amended regulations, but I don't know if I should wait for that or if I should take this opportunity now about the slipper supervision.
Are you referring
wait
to?
until we take up agenda item 3, as this item's for items not on the agenda.
Okay, thank you so much. Sorry.
No problem. No problem.
All right, this is the moderator, and with that, I see no further requests for comment. Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
Thank you. The next item agenda 3, is the discussion and possible action to ratify amended regulations regarding speech language pathology assistant, SLPA, supervision requirements as stated in Title 16, CCR sections 1399.170, 1399.170.2, and 1399.170.15 through 1399.170.18. Maria, will you present information to the board at this time?
Thank you, Ms. Dominguez. This is the proposed regulatory change to SLPA supervision that the board has been working on since 2022, which will allow telesupervision as direct supervision, require a higher level of supervision during the first 90 days of work following a SLPA's initial licensure, require both a minimum level experience and professional development training and supervision before supervising a SLPA, permit the supervision of 3 full-time equivalent support personnel not to exceed 6 support personnel at any time, incorporate by reference a revised supervision form, and revise the notice of termination. The board submitted the rulemaking file on November 15 and withdrew it on December 29, 2023 to include recommendations from the Office of Administrative Law. On pages 1 through 4, you will see that all the modifications made, which were published for public comments between January 12th through January 29, 2024. The board received 18 written comments, 7 in support, and 11 that were not related to the modifications made to the proposed regulations. Board staff does not recommend any additional changes. However, the board is required to state the reasons for not making any changes, which you can find on pages 5 through 9. We ask that the board review and discuss the materials provided and determine whether or not to approve the board's response to comments as currently drafted or propose changes to the board's responses, and direct board staff to prepare the necessary documents to complete the rulemaking process.
I'd like to open the discussion to the board at this time. Is there any board discussion? Yeah, I reviewed the document, pages 1 through 9, and took note of what was necessary to be changed, along with the supporting statement and rationale for that. And if any other board members have any comments, feel free to make those at this time.
This is Charles Sanders. I've reviewed and I have no comments.
Thank you. Okay, hearing there is no further discussion at this time, I would like to ask for a motion and then a second. There is suggested motion verbiage on page 9, if anyone would like to make the motion.
I'll make the motion that the move to ratify modifications to the regulatory text published during a 15-day comment period between January 19th through January 24th, 2004, approve the proposed board responses to comments and direct staff to take all steps necessary to complete the rulemaking process, including the filing of the final rulemaking package, with the Office of Administrative Law. Authorize the executive officer to make any non-substantive changes to the proposed regulations before completing the rulemaking process, and to adopt the proposed regulations at Title 16 CCR Sections 1399, 170, 1399.170.2, and 1399.170.15 through 1399.170.18 as noticed.
Thank you. And before we get a second, may I make a statement? There is a correction on the dates. January 19th through 24th, 2004 should be changed to January 19th through 24th, 2024.
The dates are wrong.
Do I have a second?
Sorry,
Hilda, hold on a
sorry.
second.
It was actually,
Different dates?
yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
It should say January 12th through January 29th, 2024.
Okay.
So the motion, that's the motion, the part of the motion.
Does the motion need to be re-presented, or can it stand with the correction of the dates?
It can stand with the correction, but just clarification, I think it's January 12th through January, is it 29th?
29th, yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you.
Thank you. And may I have a second?
Second.
Yes, that is Karen Chang who seconded.
Thank you for that.
I'd like to now ask the moderator to open public comment at this time.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've opened up the Q&A panel. If any member of the public would like to comment, please type comment using the field in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, or you may simply raise your hand. We are displaying instructions, and while we wait for you to do that, I'd like to ask if we have any public comment at either the Sacramento, Lodi, Glendora, or Moore Park locations.
We currently do not have any public comment at the Sacramento location.
Thank you. How about the Lodi?
There's no public comment at Lodi.
Thank you. Glendora?
There is no public comment in Glendora.
Thank you. And Moore Park?
There's no public comment in Moore Park.
Thank you. And we do have comment through our attendees in WebEx. I see Robert McKinney has raised his hand. So again, Robert, you'll have 3 minutes. I'll give you a 30-second warning. And Robert, you should be able to unmute.
Thank you so much. So I guess I have the right time now. And my name is Bob McKinney, and I am here to represent CASHA, which is the California Speech Language Hearing Association. And CASHA represents about 3,000 speech language pathologists and SLPAs, also audiologists and students, and other professionals related to working in education and healthcare settings in California. And CASHA is in strong support of these efforts by the board to really find long-term solutions to telesupervision of SLPAs and RPEs. And we know that telesupervision is a viable and effective option to serve consumer needs throughout the state. We do continue to have some concerns about it's in section 1399.170.15B1 related to the fact that SLPs would have to have 2 years of full-time experience after receiving their license or credential, or 3,120 hours. And some of our concerns relate to the fact that this would essentially, because it's excluding the experience obtained during the RPE, we're really talking about 3 years of experience. And this is now would not be in line with ASHA's recommendations or their current requirements of 9 months of experience following the clinical fellowship year, which is really 2 years of experience. And we feel also that there are SLPs out in the field now with less than 3 years experience who are effectively supervising. So this could have an impact on those supervision requirements at the moment. So our recommendations basically are, we're just hoping for language to clarify and recognize that the experience gained during the RP would count towards that minimum experience. And that would bring it in line with really 2 years of experience. We're also asking for clarification or an explanation of how the 3,120 hours are calculated. I think we've been trying to do the math, but we have not been able to. It looks to me like that is 2 times 52 weeks times 30 hours per week. But we're looking for some clarification on that. And then we're also hoping to have basically a grandparenting provision so that if someone is currently supervising a SLPA, that they would be allowed to continue that practice even if they didn't have the 3 hours. So we appreciate all your efforts. We're strongly in support, and we just had some concerns and some requests for clarification on those particular issues. Thank you very much.
All right, this is the moderator, and I see no further request for comment. Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
Thank you. I'd like to confirm, do we go ahead and proceed with the roll call vote at this time, or do we entertain the comments?
This is Regulatory Council. We appreciate the comments. It doesn't appear to be directly related to the specific edits that were made in the last 15-day comment. However, it's certainly, I think, things that are appreciated that the board can consider at a later date. But we do appreciate the general support.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'd like to ask Charisse to conduct the roll call vote on this.
Before I conduct the roll call vote, I just want to also let the public that's there know there will be a lot of information that comes out about how implementation works so that it can be a lot clearer. But I don't think we have as much concern about a grandfathering provision due to the way the language is worded right now. So I think we're okay there, but we'll be working on implementation materials. And then, of course, regulations is an ongoing breathing process. So there will always be cleanup to do in the next round of regulations. So feel comforted in that.
The board did consider changes to this specific requirements that I can present meeting materials to you if you want to email us at speechandhearing@dca.ca.gov with the rationale and the reasonings what changes were made. Changes.
And then be on the lookout for implementation information to clarify anything that might be of confusion.
Thank you.
And roll call vote. Gilda Dominguez.
Aye.
Todd Borges.
Aye.
Todd Borges.
Aye.
Thank you. Karen Chang.
Aye.
John Dandurand.
Aye.
Charles Sanders.
Aye.
And the motion carries.
Thank you. I'd now like to move to agenda item number 4, where we do have a request for future agenda items. So I'd like to ask board members and staff if there are any future agenda items that they would like to propose for a future meeting. Seeing there are none, I'll go ahead and move to asking our moderator, will you please open public comment at this time?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I've opened up the Q&A panel. If any member of the public would like to comment, please type comment using the field in the lower right-hand corner of your screen, or you may simply raise your hand. We are displaying instructions, and while we give you time to do that, I'd like to again check back in with the Sacramento location. Any public comment from the Sacramento location?
We have no public comment at the Sacramento location.
Thank you. How about our Lodi location?
No public comment here as well.
Thank you. Glendora?
No public comment here at the Glendora location.
Thank you. And Moore Park?
No public comment here in Moore Park.
Okay, thank you. And I am not seeing any public comment requests from our public logged into WebEx. So, Madam Chair, I return the floor back to you.
All right, thank you. Just wanted to confirm with staff if there's anything that I need to present or acknowledge prior to adjourning the meeting.
No, you are good to go for adjournment.
Okay, thank you. It is 12:19 p.m. and I will be adjourning our board meeting. And I also like to notify the public that this is the end of our meeting as well. Thank you for your attendance and your comments.
Thank you, board members.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Short notice.
Thank you all.
Thank you.